Hi, I'm David from londonsafes.co.uk. Please subscribe. There's a button on the right hand corner if you find this interesting. Thank you. You may have come across this video from another video that we did recently called Best Safe for Home, where we talk about this Bloomsbury range of safes that we have. I'll link to that now in the top right hand corner. In this particular video, we're going to focus on the size 3, and that's that one here. 3, as you can see in the corner, and sitting on top of it is the size 2. Separate video to that. Here's a link, and over to the right is the size 4. There's going to be a link to that one hopefully when I've done that video. That's the last one to do. And sitting on top of the size 4 is the size 1. So the size 3 is external dimensions. It's got a height of 350 millimeters, a width of 470 millimeters, and the depth is 350 millimeters. And it's available in this digital keypad version, which is a hybrid safe really. We'll go into that shortly, or in a simple key locking version, all available on the website. So day-to-day use, to open the safe, it's a 6-digit PIN code that you set your own code, but the factory code is 6 ones, and I'm just going to show you. So we're going to press on, and then the 6 ones. And then once I press E, you'll see that OK light come on. Then you have a limited time to turn the knob before the OK light goes out. You heard that little click, that's the solenoid. I turn the knob, the safe is open now. I'll just show you what I mean. That light actually goes out fairly quickly, 3 or 4 seconds, something like that. If you haven't opened it in that time, you then need to enter the code again. Pull the door, it's not heavy, it's well balanced, and we've opened the safe. So what the knob does is the knob operates the bolts, and you can just see the top of that one there. And I'll just turn the knob. I'm turning it with one hand, and you'll see that's popped out. So we've got one bolt at the top. We've got another bolt, 3 bolts down the side, and then another bolt at the bottom there. And these are free rotating bolts. They turn. So the idea is if someone tries to get a hacksaw down the gap, which they can't anyway, the hacksaw won't bite onto the bolt. It'll just rotate. So looking at the door, all the vulnerable parts of the lock, etc., are all protected by an anti-drill manganese plate. But the door itself is made from a solid slab of 10mm steel. And you can see how that little chamfer, as I shut the door, shuts completely flush. And the whole front of the safe is one solid piece of 10mm steel. And it's cut with a laser. And the laser cuts out that door. And as you can see, the door is quite set in from the extremities of the safe. That's to make it stronger. And this tiny cut, you can barely get a fingernail into it, means that anyone trying to bang a tool in there like a screwdriver or a crowbar isn't going to be successful, and that's the benefit of a laser, which cuts, at 0.5 millimeter cut or a millimeter cut, something like that. In addition, a burglar might just try smashing it with a sledgehammer, just smashing the front of the safe with a sledgehammer. Well, it's protected from that because obviously the bolts are all going to be engaged in these holes here. So there's one here, 3 down the side, another one up top here. But in addition, this rebate here, this receiver plate on 3 sides is welded to the 10mm slab on the inside. So this is holding the door back. Every time that they're trying to smack, it's holding the door back. It'd be very, very difficult to try and break into the safe in that manner. So the safe is battery operated. On the inside of the door, which is what I'm looking at here, you've got your battery compartment. It's just a small screw there that you unwind, and in there is 4 AA batteries. When we deliver and install your safe, it will come with 4 industrial cells. You can replace them with regular Duracell type AA batteries. This little device here is the button that you press when you're setting your unique code, but it's got a little safety cover that goes over it, so it's not pressed in by accident. The batteries do last an awful long time, and we have had customers call us after 10-12 years and say my safe doesn't open, and then when we inquire about the batteries, it transpires they've never changed them. We don't recommend that you leave it like that. We recommend that you just change them annually, on the anniversary of when you got the safe is the best way. But what happens if the battery does go flat? Well, there's 2 ways of getting into this safe as the legitimate owner of the safe, obviously. And you do have a battery warning light. So as you're going through that opening process that I just described, if the batteries were getting a bit weak, it will illuminate there, warning you, change the batteries, so it's a good time to do it. But maybe you didn't, maybe you're away for a long time and you've come back to the safe and the batteries are flat. Well, no problem. So on this particular safe, we've got these two little terminals. Do you see there, minus and plus? And they correspond to the terminals on a regular 9-volt battery. This is the type of battery you see in a smoke alarm. This one happens to be an industrial cell. We just tend to favour those, and when we install them, this is what we tend to use. And you would simply press that against, you see one large and one small terminal, press it up against that. I can't do it because I'm holding the camera in my right hand and holding the battery with my left. But while you're doing that, you're powering the circuit, and with your other hand you tap your code in. You still need to tap your code in. It won't get you in simply because the battery's flat and you're powering it like this. It remembers your code. Tap your battery in, safe will open, and then you can go in and change the batteries. And the second way into the safe, in the event of a flat battery, or in the event that you've forgotten the code, and it does happen, all best intentions, and then you don't know what the code is because you haven't used the safe for a long time. Well, this safe is supplied with keys, and they are proper double-bitted security keys, not just like locker keys like you get on cheap safes. And there's a keyhole, but it's not immediately obvious where it is. But as I go down here, you'll see that E, and E stands for emergency. So you've got an emergency, you can't get in the safe because of a flat battery, or let's say you don't have that 9-volt battery to hand, or you've forgotten the code. And that E is simply self-adhesive, and you peel it off, and I'm going to set it aside, but that reveals the keyhole. And the manufacturer actually gives you a couple of spares as well in case you ever do need to do it. So I'll pop the key in because it's a bit awkward holding the camera in one hand. The key's in there now. Imagine the battery's completely flat. The safe is locked. I'm turning that. It will not open. All we need to do is rotate that key once and twice, 1.5, and now the safe will open. And you've completely bypassed the electronics. There's no need at all to have batteries in it at this point. If it was completely flat, that mechanical process will get you into the safe. So if it was the case that you'd forgotten your code, and in most safes that are on the market, you're in deep trouble at that point, but you've used your keys, you've got into the safe, you're now going to follow the procedure that we give you to reset your code, and you're back in business. Now, I mentioned two things earlier on. I said that the safe comes with a key locking option, and I also mentioned that this is a hybrid version. So what I want to go through now is, if you are unclear whether or not you want a digital safe or a key locking safe, well, that's where the hybrid element comes in. With this one, you've actually got both. If you wanted to remove your little E sticker from the safe and just carry on using this safe with the key as a key locking safe, you can do. You don't ever need to worry about batteries, never need to think about it going flat. You're just going to use your keys and imagine it's a key locking safe. So that's just another example of the versatility of this particular range of safes, and another reason why we like them so much and recommend them so often. I've got the door of the safe open now so you can see the inside, and we're going to go through and look at the capacity and what you can fit in the safe and things like that shortly. But before I do, and if you have watched the other video, which safe is best for home, where we talk about these Bloomsbury safes, you'll know how important it is for the fixing holes. And you can see on the back of the safe we've got 4 fixing holes on the back, which is really unusual. Most safes have got 1 or 2, but under that carpet, I won't pull it out just now, but under the carpet, and incidentally the safe comes with a carpet and a shelf, there are 4 more fixing holes, and that means that we can fix this safe to your property very, very robustly. If most safes only come with 1 or 2 on the back, or maybe 1 or 2 on the bottom, we've got 8 fixing holes to install this safe. And if you've got a concrete floor and a brick wall for us to bolt to, we'll use all 8. And we'll always try and use all 8 fixings however we can, whatever surfaces you've got available to us in your property. But you can see the safe will be very, very robustly bolted to your building. Okay, so those internal dimensions. The height internally is 330 millimeters, the width is 460 millimeters, and the depth is 295 millimeters. As I say, 1 internal shelf. It's fixed in that position, as in you can't change the position, but you can remove the shelf completely. I'll do that in a sec. It's very easily done. We got an internal storage capacity of 45 litres on this particular safe. And I neglected to mention that it weighs in at 44 kilograms. And I think I also neglected to mention that it's certified and tested to EN 14450S2, which means it's suitable for storing up to £4,000 in cash for insurance purposes, or up to £40,000 in your valuables, jewellery and electronics, etc. So I've taken the shelf out. You can get a better idea there. The shelf supports one on each side. And there's the shelf just sitting there on my bench. Okay, so what can we fit in the safe? So first of all, let's look at some A4 paper. And that's an A4 document in there. As you can see, it just swallows it up. There's room for tons and tons of paper. That's an A4 folder that I've just popped in. That type of folder. And that's the foolscap type, or scape, never know which one it is, type folder. You could fit a few of those in if you needed to. Let's pop a watch box in there. Plenty of room for plenty of watches if that's your thing. And talking about watches, a few customers have come to us and they've got these watch winders that are powered by a little cable that plugs into the wall, you know, like a phone charger type cable. In the size 3 and the size 4, we've done those sorts of installs for them. And what we're able to do is leave out one of the fixing holes, not put a bolt in the back of one of the fixing holes, and space out the safe a little bit to the back with some washers, and then run the cables for the watch winder through into here. So it would go, because you'd have that little space, much like I've got now, the cable could go out there and then enter into the unit here, into the safe, and then you can have your watch winders going if you wanted to. I think the jury's out on the watch winders, whether it's a good idea or not to constantly wind your watch. I think the jury's out. I think most people think it is, but some people think it isn't a good idea. iPads, take it as read, you'd get, you know, plenty in there. This is my laptop, which is an old battered Toshiba, but it is quite a widescreen version, and with a little bit of manoeuvring, that's gone in there, no problem at all. Actually, I just measured it, so it's 380 from here to here. It's 380 millimeters, and from here to here was 260 millimeters. As I say, it's a bit battered, and you saw that once it's in the safe, there is actually even a bit of extra room. So cameras, SLR cameras, yeah, you'll fit 3 or 4 in here. Probably the best size for most properties. The size 4 gives you a little bit of extra room, but we're going to look at that shortly. The whole range are supplied in this darkish blue colour. On occasion they come through to us from the factory in a darker black colour. I'm afraid there is no choice. When you're placing your order, you may get the dark blue, you may get the dark black. We can't really control that, I'm afraid. So we do carry a few accessories that when you're buying the safe and you're checking out on the website, you'll be presented with a list of a few things that you can buy. And I'm going to jump to another clip now that I filmed on another day, and these safes weren't on the bench, so it might look a little bit out of sequence, but the accessories are all the same. So I'm just going to jump to that now. So hopefully you're going to buy a safe from us and we're going to come and install it for you. So during the checkout process, if you are doing that, and thank you if you are, there's a number of accessories that you can purchase. So the first one is a automatic light, battery operated 3 AAA cells, and it's got a little movement sensor, and that pops onto the underside of the top of the safe, and as you open the safe, the light comes on, illuminates the contents. Very useful for dark cupboards or wardrobes, things like that, so you can see what's going on in there. And then we have this, which is a flame retardant wallet, so you can put your A4 documents and bits and pieces in there for extra fire protection. We have a carpet base if you want a carpet in the bottom of your safe. As you see, they don't come with one. If you want one, then that's an optional extra. This is a pair of Faraday pouches for putting car keys in. Key cloning theft of cars is very, very common now. You put your keys in here and the people with the dodgy equipment can't pick up the signal in the house to take your car away. And finally we have this dehumidifier box, which you can put inside the safe. It's reusable, you can dry it out on a radiator, absorbs moisture, protects things from condensation, because you can get condensation form inside a big steel box like that. Also useful for keeping firearms dry as well. And these are all recommended accessories for your safe that are available at checkout. So now I'd just like to tell you a bit about our service. So we're London and Home County Safes, as I said earlier on. What we do is we do a free delivery and free certified installation on all bolted safes. So that means that if you order this and you're in our catchment area, which is at the bottom there, which is quite a big area, and we will actually arrive with your safe, be one of our vetted employees in an unmarked van or possibly a disguised van, so that your neighbours or onlookers don't know you're having a safe installed. We will install the safe for you, and we will certify it to show exactly how it was installed. It's a method statement of the installation method. It's fully insurance approved. We understand exactly what the insurance companies want. We issue you with that certificate. We'll show you how to use it, show you how to set your code, show you how to change the batteries, clean up after ourselves, and people are generally extremely happy with the service. We are rated excellent on Trustpilot. I think at the moment, if you go to Trustpilot and just type safes into Trustpilot, if I'm not mistaken, I think I did it the other day, we come straight up as the top rated safe company in the country. Naturally, you're going to have questions about how and where we can fit it in your house. Is it right for you? Stuff like that. Just give us a call, 0208 445 0001. If you're not sure about calling, you can chat with us on the website. You can email us. In some cases, we can do a survey, come and have a look and see if it's suitable, but we can often do that on WhatsApp these days with some pictures or a video sent to us. And thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you.
Free delivery and free installation. Your safe will be delivered and professionally installed by one of our own vetted employees who will arrive in an unmarked vehicle. Get in touch online or call us on 0800 711 7892.